AI visibility opportunities. Today I'm joined with Eldar Cohen, the founder of Local Dominator. And this is the most exciting episode in the series that I'm doing. It's the opportunities, the gaps in the market, seeing exactly where you're not being cited in specific prompts on specific pages, where you need to be added as being a source on an existing article, certain new articles that need to be done. There's so many opportunities that people are not realizing because they're not tracking the AI visibility share of voice. Now, the AI visibility share of voice is a huge part that people should be doing, not just tracking specific keywords, but the overall share of voice. Make sure you check out the link in the description where we do a whole episode of how Local Dominator does an AI visibility share of voice. But today's episode is all about them gaps in the market, what you can be doing to get cited more by ChatGPT, what could we be doing to get cited more by Gemini or AI mode. Eldar, take it away. You go on the dance floor, show me your screen, show me these opportunities. I want more AI visibility.
Let's
Rock.
go. Let's go. AI visibility, baby. That's the most important. So when it comes for AI visibility in Local Dominator, you can understand your AI present, you can understand your share of voice. And one of the biggest thing here that we have added is the opportunity. All right, you just click on this opportunity. You can see this business doesn't have much visibility, all right? Their visibility is only 7% compared to their top competitors, and they have 84 opportunities, all right? Now, what this looks like, when you go through the opportunity, let me close this. When you go through the opportunity, you can kind of understand, the breakdown between the engines, okay? And as you can see, they have a little bit more exposure on Gemini, but they don't have much exposures on the rest. So we can kind of see this. It's almost equally for them. 15 prompts need attention, 84 missing engines mentioned, which is huge. Now let's dive in and go and see what exactly we have here. So for example, here's a prompt that we have zero visibility for, okay? This is a commercial intent prompt, meaning this is something that can generate revenue, okay? So you wanna make sure you're ranking for it, whatever, if it's your client or your own business, you wanna make sure you are getting visibility for commercial intent prompts, okay? This is going to dictate your share of voice for this topic. Now, when you go in here, you can click on this thing below. I'll show you how close one look. We already generated because it takes about 5 minutes. You click on this thing a little here, and then you'll get a plan, all right? It will recommend something. So for example, here, publish a dedicated page that target this prompt, and then you just click build page plan. And this will take all the data that we have in this campaign, and based on this data, it's going to generate the content, all right? You can have multiple things. For example, you can have something that says add a section to close the content gap. So it's not just let's create new stuff. We also look at your website, we crawl it, we understand what do you have on your website and where you have gaps, so we can come in and we can fill those gaps for you, and we can actually generate the plan for you. Now, let's go through one of the plans here. So in here, the plan actually explains why and how and all of the questions that you might have before you even get to the plan. The easiest thing we could have done is to let you click on a button and just do this, right? But that's just not transparency, and that's just not the right way to go. The right way to go about it, at least from our perspective, is to share with you exactly how did we get to those conclusions and how do we get to where we're at. So just kind of like rough idea so you understand. Kind of look at the title. So why AI prefer the competition? Gives you bullet points why you're not ranking. Okay. What is their advantage? Give you their advantage. What is the entities that you're missing? Is breaking this as well. Missing topics, explain this as well. Missing claims, explain this as well. Sources, it also explained the pattern on the sources. This is huge, all right? How does plan close this gap, all right? This is very, very important. We take all the data, and we give you a little TLDR. This is how this is going to help you, right? For in this scenario, the page slag H1, direct answer formed around the DUI versus professional painting to directly address the user core dilemma, all right? So let's take a look and understand what this page is. So in here, we suggest that you create this type of page on your website with this slag, with this H1. And look at this. This is one of those things you can literally copy paste it, or you can even connect, your Claude or your Codex via the API to this and even evaluate this opportunity or this plan that we give you here. So if you want to do this programmatically, you can. If you want to do this manually, you can as well. In here, let's look and see what we got. So we got all the page content. We got the section, the H1s, H2s, FAQ, tell you to add an image, okay? And we need to do some little more confirmations here because we didn't, figure this out in terms of warranty and stuff like that. So this is when you need to come in and fill the gap that right? Because it's your business or your client. Like, I don't know if it's not listed on your website that you have 2 years warranty, the tool would not know. So this is where the need attention comes in. We'll ask you questions that we couldn't find the answer for. And this is just one example.
Just to stop you on that, what I absolutely love about that part is, and this is what I really like about it, the opportunity's there and it shows you what more information we need, where so many other AI writers just hallucinate and give incorrect information, where at least this is saying we need X, Y, and Z to complete this. Otherwise, we're not going to write about those sections. However, it doesn't hallucinate. It doesn't make it up. It's asking for more information, which then can enrich that content. And I think that's massive.
Yeah. Now that you're saying this like that, it is. So many times we see the AI says, well, you know what? So-and-so, so-and-so, and so. And you're reading like, what? Where the hell is this information from? So this is one of those things we have to prevent, because if we come up with stuff that isn't right, that's not good. So what we don't know, we ask. And that's one of the things that we have in the background. We only use the data that is available for us to generate those plans. Another little tip that you can do, by the way, I touched it a moment ago. Another really cool thing that you can do, you can connect your agent to the AI tracker using the API, and you can start communicating with your agent on the opportunities. So it's pretty cool because you can, pull a plan and then start working on these plans with your own skills, your own workflow, and all of those things, your own data, which makes it really cool because you can do this programmatically. One of the things that I do is I have this connected to my Claude that I do some SEO with, and it's just doing things on schedule. Like every other day or so, it goes in, pulls something, and it gives me the things that I need to do based on the data. So it's really cool. And yeah, you can do it both ways, and just do it and it will rank. It's easy. It's easy. SEO employees.
Eldar, can you just stop sharing? Can you stop sharing your screen a minute? I just want to ask you a few questions on the AI visibility opportunities.
Absolutely.
With regards to that, obviously we've gone through the share of voice, and now we're going through opportunities that's available, finding them gaps in the market to try to beat out that competition. So for me, something that I've absolutely loved when I've been using Local Dominator, especially for the opportunities part, isn't just the fact that it shows me what pages are missing. It's not just that it kind of shows me what subheadings are missing on existing pages. But what I also love about it is there's certain opportunities that it opens up. And I think, actually, that needs to become a guest post or a press release, not on my own website. Mm-hmm. I'm now strategically writing content on third-party sources that are coming talking about me on third-party sources, saying how amazing my entity and my brand is in comparison to competition. And that's another part that I think too many people that are doing link building or off-page signals just get anything being written for a backlink. And nowadays, getting those citations and getting them semantic triples on third-party sources is a huge opportunity to increase AI visibility. Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on that then with regards to opportunities? What do you like the most when you're looking at the AI share of voice and then you see like there was 84 different opportunities? Like, what's the most that you've seen for a brand, and how quickly have you managed to work through the opportunities to increase AI visibility?
Yeah, so at some point it will say 99 and it will just not show more than 99 because
Yeah.
sometimes if your website has zero visibility, like the plan that we have to get you there is just pretty long, but it don't really need to be that long. So let me give you an example of how I improve one of the websites that I'm working on very, very fast. Um, Maybe I can even share something in a little bit. So one of the things that you can do, let's say you start from scratch, your visibility is zero. You go to the opportunity tab, you figure out your gaps, and then you start adding this content to your website. In 2026, the biggest thing for websites to rank well is the on-page content. You can say whatever you want, and we can definitely argue about this. I still think that links are important, social is important, all of those things are still important. But the data that you have on your website is the first source of truth. And if your website does not back up this claim, why you should be cited for this prompt or for this topic, you're not going to get there. So the opportunity covers this. The first thing a person should do is to start creating content based on this, based on the opportunity, and just nail it down. How fast will it start ranking? Usually matter of weeks. Matter of weeks, you'll start seeing like green, and then in a little bit, once you'll have like closer to the month, it will be completely changed. Here's the deal. If you are doing just that, you're just creating content, but you're not doing your fundamentals, it's not going to work. Somebody asked me yesterday, it says, have you ever seen a new website that doesn't get indexed in Google? My first question was, did you add Site Console and did you add Google Search Analytics? And the man said, I didn't. Well, how would Google even know that your website exists, right? So what I'm trying to say here, make sure that the basic ground is covered. Your website is connected to Search Console, your website is connected to analytics, and then start creating content, all right? Add content. Make sure that your homepage support the topic you're trying to rank for. For example, if you are a dental office, but you're creating a lot of content about, like let's say X-ray for your teeth or whatever, you might not have the AI understand that you're doing dental services, right? Your content must be compelling to each other, your homepage and the rest of it. And when you go to the opportunity, it's going to cover those things. It's going to say, here, you're missing some things that you need to update, or we found this page with content that is throwing the AI. So you want your entire package to cover your topics, and it's really fast. I'll share one more thing. I think that in 2026, SEO has actually been easier than it was for the last several years, especially when we're trying to rank in AI, because all of those tools are now just realizing what SEO is in a way, right? So some of that stuff is a little bit like an old SEO. Like, James, how long have you been talking about creating content?
Yeah. It's been a while.
It's been a while, right? And now it's back. So it's easy. Like, these are things we can do. So within
Yeah, for sure.
several weeks, if you're doing things right, you're knocking down the opportunities, you're creating the content properly, you'll get share of voice very fast.
I've got a few more questions with regards to AI visibility opportunities. So I've heard you on one or two videos talking about the content that you do on your homepage is important. Have you found that with AI visibility opportunities, that at times it's bringing back, they need to be adding slightly more content onto the homepage? Why is it you talk quite a lot about homepage content being important for a website?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you are looking at your opportunity to rank in AI and in Google, the first thing that those tools are going to is the homepage. Your homepage is your strongest asset in a way. Every time you create more pages and more pages, they get a little bit weaker and weaker, and not necessarily going to get indexed, right? Sometimes, like I've created a lot of websites that 80% of the pages didn't get indexed. However, if your homepage is done well, it's going to get indexed and it's going to affect your entire webflow, your entire index, and your entire, credibility. Now, here's another thing. Your homepage is one of those opportunities to actually get that link juice, right? That linking opportunities. Because if somebody ranks on the homepage, let's take a scenario. You have the homepage and you have a link in the cover. What is this link in the cover tells the AI engine? This is a very, very, very important page because I link to this page directly from my cover, right? So that's why it's very important to invest as much as possible in the homepage, so it will affect a lot of the other pages. And sometimes I use the homepage to rank the inner pages that I'm trying to do. For example, if I'm working on a multi-location, so let's say somebody have, it's a franchise. I'm not trying to rank the homepage. I'm trying to rank the /location page, but I'm using the homepage to give me that, to pass that link juice into that money page. And this is where I'm going to use more opportunities to close gaps. And this is where I'm going to have my call to actions and all that good stuff.
Anyone who's watching this with regards to Local Dominator, AI visibility opportunities, I just want to expand a little bit on what Eldar said. We're using it in-house. We're finding it amazing. We're finding those gaps in the market to try to beat out competition. There's just two extra things that I would add on to what he's saying. The on-page content is ridiculously important. I completely agree. But also, and I don't mean the backlinks, the off-page content, the third-party corroborative sources on the claim, frame, and prove model. You can claim something and prove something on your first-party source. If you can try to get that third-party source to prove it with awards, reviews, testimonials, and case studies, which reiterate what they do, then that is a game changer. That is where then you're building up consensus overall, which is building up, and everything of that can be done within the AI visibility opportunities tab. All the little prompts that are coming back and all the information of what you're missing, you could do on page as well as off page. And a lot of the time you don't even need the backlinks. You just need the mentions or the article. And there's a few places now with regards to guest posting sites like Gigalinks, which is only like $10 per article on a third-party source, which can index. If you load it into like indexceptional.com, which in my opinion is the best indexing tool there is out there, get it indexed, get it repeating what your homepage and what your website is saying, and you build that consensus. You're wrapping all that up with all the LLM opportunities that are showing up within Local Dominator, and you're onto a winner. Make certain you are tracking the share of voice. Make sure you check the link out in the description. And Eldar, I just want to say personally, I want to thank you for creating such a great tool with Local Dominator. That's why I did Local Dominator review. I wanted to go through it all. I wanted to make certain that everything was working end to end. The team instantly started to fall in love with it. They didn't realize it was going to be great for LLM visibility and AI visibility. We was already using it for local maps, and now we've ended up moving over and using it for AI visibility as well. So if you want to get cited more in the LLMs like ChatGPT, Gemini, AI Mode, Claude, or Perplexity, make sure you go and check out Local Dominator. Eldar, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.